Welcome to Simply Better Choices, your trusted guide for smart, research-backed decisions. Let me share something with you. When my baby was born, I got him these baby wipes that I thought were really good because they were 99% water. But in this 1% extra, once I dug deeper, I found out that there were potentially dangerous chemicals that could hurt my baby. That's why today I want to share with you what are the top ingredients to avoid in baby wipes that could be hiding sneakily behind this 1%. And I want to show you how to perform safety checks on any product so that you can do this like a pro. So why does it even matter? If you think about it, we use wipes for everything, not just diaper changes, but sticky fingers, messy faces on the go. Some people even use it to remove their makeup. So your baby's skin, and even yours, is exposed to them every day to some extent. Okay, guys, so for a baby wipe to do its job, at the minimum, you're gonna need water and some sort of cloth. I've actually done some digging into this topic and I found a product that has water and cotton as the only ingredients. This is really rare, and I'm gonna be sharing this plus my top 5 picks for baby wipes in my next video, so please go and check it out. But in the meantime, know that the most common thing to find out there is to have some sort of cleanser and preservative. And this is actually okay. Preservatives are actually needed, especially in this format where we take a wipe at a time, because it helps us extend the shelf life of the product so it doesn't dry up so quickly. And most importantly, it prevents microorganisms from growing given the moist conditions of the wipes. Everything else, though, that's not these 3 things, scratch it. Remember how I just told you preservatives are okay? Well, they usually are in most of them. However, phenoxyethanol, try to stay away from it. It's a preservative that's linked to skin irritation and not recommended for infants under 3 months old. How you spot it? Just read the label, it's going to be spelled out very clearly. Okay, this next one is going to be a handful, but please bear with me because this is actually important. So, ethylene oxide and 1,4-dioxane are potential carcinogens that can be in baby wipes. Okay, the thing is that none of them are going to be listed as ingredients because they're not ingredients, but are actually contaminants that are introduced during the manufacturing process. So, instead of looking for ethylene oxide and 1,4-dioxane, because you're never going to find them, you can look instead for PGs and polysorbates and try to stay away from those. So how you spot them, in this case, you can see it's going to be PG within a number, so PG4 in this case, and same thing with polysorbate. So polysorbate 20, you can also find 40, 60, or 80 in most cases. These are known risks to human and or environmental health. And then you have some possible ones. Here you can see in the orange the cocoa betaine. This is a cleanser, and it is associated to skin irritation. So also, whenever possible, try to stay away from this one too. You also want to know if your wipes have these chemicals known as quats, which are thought to be chemicals that can trigger asthma or skin allergies in some people. There's one in particular that is listed here as benzalkonium chloride. This is actually found as traces in water wipes. And the best way to spot it is to look for quaternium with a number, so quaternium 17, or endings in onium chloride, right? Like in this case, it's very clearly spelled out as benzalkonium chloride that is thought to irritate skin, eyes, and disrupt the skin microbiome. Additional research is honestly needed to be able to fully understand the impact of this chemical, but since it's potentially risky, I would stay away from it personally. And finally, fragrances is our big no-no because we know that they can hide so many disruptors for your endocrine system. There can be carcinogens, allergens related to the word fragrance. And usually you're able to spot them out very clearly if it says perfume, scent, scented, aroma, essential oils. But if you're ever in doubt, I'm going to show you in this next step actually how to make sure that you understand the purpose of each ingredient by using the EWG database. You can do this by using a real example. This is a product that I got back in the day, and they're hand sanitizing wipes. So I did not get to use them on my baby's butt or hands at the end of the day, thankfully, because I used them to sanitize his toys. Thankfully, once I was done, my husband was like, "Let me take that," and he licked the toy, and I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "My tongue is burning so badly. We cannot give this to him." So we discarded the product because we were like, dude, he puts everything in his mouth, his hands, his toys, everything. So we cannot let him go through it. And I had fallen for it because it had all the good keywords, right? It says alcohol free, dermatology tested, discover which of our ingredients are certified organic. However, later on, once I got deep into looking at ingredients and all of this, I noticed the active ingredient is benzalkonium chloride at 0.13%. Then it also has Polysorbate 20 and all of these fragrance related ingredients that we had just talked about getting rid of or staying away from. So that this does not happen to you, ideally before you buy, so you're not stuck with a bunch of products that are not good for your baby, you are gonna go, if you so decide, on the EWG Skin Dip website, and I'm gonna drop the link so you can favorite it and you can access it more easily. And there you're going to search for an ingredient, a brand, or a product. In this case, I had already typed in baby organics, blah blah blah, and I popped these three results. And this is the one that I'm looking for. So just keep in mind the manufacturers have the products in different versions and different formulations, and they do change over time sometimes. So make sure that you're looking for the most recent one that matches what you're trying to buy. So this is the right one. Yes, it's the 2018 formulation, and you can see here it has a summary of the main ingredient concerns, which is something I really like because right off the bat you can see a couple things. First, that the score that EWG is giving it is a 3. So really quickly, the ranking that they do goes from verified, which is like top notch. It's the products that are free of any harmful ingredients, and they get this like seal of approval. And 10 is the worst, so run away. Whenever I give you any recommendations, guys, I'm going to stick to verified once or maximum twos, but very rarely. So this is a 3. You can see here it has some high concerns for allergies and immunotoxicity and use restrictions and some moderate ones for developmental and reproductive toxicities. So what you can do afterwards is look at ingredient by ingredient if you want to. And for example, for benzalkonium chloride, it tells you what the function is and the concerns, right? So we already know, if you can see here, some of the high concerns and moderate concerns, even endocrine disruption as a lower concern, but still, it gives you every single ingredient. These ones and twos are pretty okay. Keep in mind this polysorbate 20, and that's why it's important to double check each ingredient if you can for contamination concerns as well. Because if you recall, we did mention that sometimes products can be contaminated for ethylene oxide and 1,4-dioxane, which are potential carcinogenics that we also want to stay away from. Even though here it's been rated as a 1, that cross contamination concern is something to keep in mind. And then finally, you have this like 3, 5, 4, which are not good. And mainly it's because it's our fragrance. So if you can see, I love that you can know what it's actually supposed to be doing. So this is a fragrance ingredient. And it has all of these high concerns for allergies, for irritation of skin, eyes, or lungs. So now you know you can stay away from this product in this case. And you can do this for any product. In this case, I was lucky that the example I used like was already in the database. However, if your product is not popping up, so it's not already preloaded into it and there's no existing report, you can create your own report, which is what I really like about this. So again, you would go to the build your own report, and from there, you can go to the website of the product that you're trying to look for. We're going to do it with the same one just to show you that you can then copy paste. You're going to get rid of the words active, inactive, and the percentages, otherwise it's not going to recognize it. And you're going to put everything in between commas. Then you click on get your report, and it should create the same report that we just saw, right? Because it's the same product. And voila, it gives you a 3 and it gives you exactly the same info that we just went over. So there you go. That's how you can use this tool for any product to check what the ingredients are. I hope you learned something new today. Thank you so much for watching. In my next video, I'm going to share my top 5 picks for baby wipes, how much they cost, and how you can save money. So stay tuned, subscribe. It really means a lot to me. And if no one saw you yet today, you're doing a great job. See you soon.